Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Q2FY24 results and outlook of the business conference call of Sagar Production Limited, hosted by Capital Square Financial Services Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Amog Dahiwadkar from Capital Square Financial Services. Thank you, and over to you.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Capital Square Financial Services, I welcome you all to Sagar Production Limited Q2 and H1 FY24 earnings call. We have with us Mr. Chetan Merchant, Managing Director, Mr. Rikin Parekh, Director, Mr. Shiva Kumar, Director, and Mr. Ameya Kulkarni, Director from Sagar Production Limited. Now I hand over the floor to the management for the opening remarks and outlook on business. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Amog. E-Puja amalgamated with Sagar Productions Limited after NCLT wide its order dated 8 May 2023 approved the scheme. With technology getting embedded in every aspect of life, it was only time before the spiritual industry also would be disrupted by technology. And hence, being in the spiritual space and being a technology company, we have applied to BSE for a name change from Sagar Productions Limited to E-Puja Spiritech Limited. E-Puja is India's first online portal that offers access to religious ceremonies and remedies across 3,600 temples in India. E-Puja bridges the gap between inaccessible holy places and the desire to visit and offer prayer at the temples. E-Puja aims to keep the Indians stay in touch with the spirituality, with over 7,000 pujas being made readily available at the click of a button. Our aim of E-Puja is to offer the service of convenience to one and all, so that the younger generation too can understand the science behind Indian culture and ritualistic traditions, and to benefit from them as their ancestors have done. E-Puja started with Shiva Kumar, our founder, who travelled over 4.5 lakh kilometers across the length and breadth of India and created a formidable network of temples. Shiva brings with him insightful networking skills and a deep understanding of Indian culture and his constant involvement with cultural bodies and temples across India. As Indians, we are spiritually more inclined and have demonstrated exhibiting some of the other traits to fulfill spiritual aspirations. Then it be praying at specific temples for specific issues that the temples are known for conducting pujas at home during festivals. Given this background, do you relate with any of these? Your parents want to offer a specific prayer at a temple but are unable to travel. You stay overseas and want to offer a prayer at a specific temple in India. You have scheduled a trip to a holy shrine but not inclined to wait in long queues. I am sure in some ways or another we have personally experienced several such issues. One leans towards spirituality, at times good, bad or ugly, unarguably. Point being, spirituality is a big recession-free industry in India, with numbers ranging anywhere between $60 to $80 billion in 2023. The market is further expected to grow at a CAGR of 10% during the forecast period of 2024 to 2032. We believe that online puja market has huge opportunity in a country like India, where the Hindu population, which is 1.35 billion, is 80%, and India is a home to around 90% of the global population of Hindus. E-Puja is India's largest online portal to offer pujas across 3,600 Hindu temples in India, and has already conducted over 50,000 pujas till date. Customers from more than 70 countries have conducted pujas through E-Puja, to whom non-perishable prasadams in the official envelope of the temple with the customer name personalized by the temple have been shipped. E-Puja has a repeat order run rate of over 50%. E-Puja is the largest player to offer more than 7,000 pujas on its portal. E-Puja is an asset-light, debt-free company operating with negative working capital, as the money for the puja is being received in advance, post which the puja is conducted and the prasadam shipped to the devotee. E-Puja operates at a 40 to 45% gross margin, with the most of it translating to PBT margins. With the last 4 years being purely devoted towards building content and getting a handle in engagement and fulfillment related issues, the management is now looking at aggressive scaling up the business, and we look forward to adding more 5,000 temples in the business. Now I'll ask Rikin Parekh to discuss the Q2 results.
Good evening, everyone. To give you a glimpse of the Q2 results, we've done a top line of approximately 30 lakhs. We've done an EBITDA of 20 lakhs. That translates to approximately 75%. We've done a PAT of 1 lakh, which is around 3.5%. To just take a slightly deeper dive into the numbers, we've got totally 1,750 orders, right? Out of this, 85% was from India, which translates to 1,574 orders. 183 orders were out of India. Average order value for the Indian pujas or the Indian customers was approximately 2,200 rupees per order. And for the orders that have come from outside India, the approximate order value size was 5,500 rupees. To give you another insight, in terms of number of pujas, what I've discussed right now is number of orders. Each order can have multiple pujas, right? So I'm just going to give you a perspective on what is the number of pujas also that have happened. So approximately we've conducted close to 4,000 pujas, around 40 havans in this quarter. We've also done a soft launch of the astrology vertical in this Q2, right? Where we've started receiving a small order flow even for the astrology, where we have 2-3 offerings. One is ask a question online. Second one is you speak to the astrologer, and third one is meet the astrologer. So I'm happy to say that with the soft launch itself, we've managed to get approximately 15 to 18 questions in that quarter. And we are slowly ramping up that segment as well. Yeah, that's it from the results side.
Should we start the question and answer session, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have a first question from the line of Bhakti Oza from Capital Square Financial Services. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
May I request you to use your handset mode, please, Bhakti? You're not very clear.
Okay. Good evening, sir. As per my understanding, the major business happens on the advance payment. Then why trade receivable is showing at rupees 1.4 crore in 1HF Financial 24?
Yeah. So hi, Bhakti. Good evening. Can you just repeat your question once? Hello?
Bhakti, can you repeat your question, please? We are not able to hear you. Yes.
The major business happens on advance payment. Then why trade receivable is showing at rupees 1.5 crore?
Right. So I completely understand. What this is showing you is of the Sagar production business, which was going on till, I would say, the first quarter of this year. Right. We are in process of, I would say, cleaning it up. Right. But this is trade receivables for the business that was done at Sagar Productions, which was in some film editing and post-production work. Right. So that is what is showing in the books. I believe over the next 2 quarters, those receivables will be cleared.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. We have a next question from the line of Sudhir Pariyar from Consultant Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Brilliant. So yeah, it's a wonderful business that you are in, and like you rightly mentioned during your introductory call, that's a recession-proof business. Can you just let me know as to, on an average day, what is the number of pujas that you conduct today?
Sure, just give me a moment.
Yeah.
Sir, on an average, today we are doing approximately 40 to 50 pujas on a daily basis.
On a daily basis. Okay. And what was this run rate during COVID times when there was a complete lockdown, just for us to get a sense of how the business transpired?
So, it was, just give me a moment, I'll just pull it out. Yeah, so during COVID, this was approximately more close to like the 9,500 number.
9,500
basis.
numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. So even during COVID times, you basically had the puja orders actually coming in.
Yes, yes, absolutely. It was, I would say, double. Now it is kind of normalized in that sense.
Okay. My second question is, how many you said you have a temple network close to about 7,000.
No, sir, 3,600 temples.
3,600 temples. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And of this, would you have a 80-20 ratio, which means that, 80% of your puja is being booked from less than 20% of your temples? How many active temples do you have as of date?
You could go with that. What I would like to add in this, Sudhir, is that a lot of our pujas come from the remedy puja segment, right? Remedy pujas typically are driven by your astrology or your 9 planets, where you, some of the other people have some of the other issues going on because of the planetary positions not being in favor. Right?
Okay.
Just to give you another example to this is your Kal Sarp, right? 1/6 of the global population today, global population I'm talking, right? It suffers from this Kal Sarp yoga, where no matter what the individual is doing in terms of effort, he just doesn't get the result. Right? So this,
Okay.
so the puja that you do, right, to take care of this situation is a remedy puja. Right? So this way you could have issues with, your Shani, Sadesati, or Mangal, Rahu, etc. Right?
Correct.
So I would say we have a lot of pujas that are coming on the remedy side. I hope that answers your question.
Not really exactly.
If I may add,
Yeah, please, Shiva.
I'm Shiv Kumar here.
Yeah. Hi,
See,
Sagar.
hi, Mr. Sudhir. The remedy pujas are our basic bread and butter.
Correct.
And which is basically, it is a recession proof, irrespective of what auspicious time or inauspicious time, those generate our business. And out of the 3,600, we can say around 1.5 to 2,000 temples are regularly on our orders.
Okay. So of the 3,000 temples that you're saying, about 1,000 odd temples are being regularly catered to on account of remedy puja, if I'm getting it correct.
On a day-to-day basis, or we can say weekly basis.
No, on
So
an annual
whatever
basis.
this-
I'm taking a broader on an annual basis.
Yeah, to give you an example, for example, if you look at the Ashtabinayak Ganpati temples in Maharashtra, the order flow shoots up during this Ganpati festival.
I understand.
Similarly,
No,
every god will have a Jayanti or on its own festival important days. Those days, those orders shoot up. The rest of the time, it's normal only.
No, I understand that. So I'll tell you where I'm coming from, right? So I don't have much understanding of the business, so I'm just trying to delve a little bit deeper. So what I'm trying to figure out is you already have a temple network of close to about 3,000, right?
3,600, yeah.
Yeah, 3,600, right? And in your, introductory call, you mentioned that you're looking at increasing the temple network. The reason I'm asking you this is I feel that if you already have, detailed enough temples in your kitty right now, should we not try and, cater to actually fulfilling our capacities in the existing temples rather than look out for newer temples?
Okay, I'll answer that. I got your point. See, what happens is India is a land of temples in the sense that there are almost 10 lakh and above temples in India.
I get it.
We have networked the most important ones, popular ones, and famous ones.
Okay.
Okay, there's a whole lot that yet to be networked to our temple. The reason is, see, tomorrow if some miracle happens in some temple, unknown temple, and suddenly it comes on TV or on news channels, the popularity surges. So we might not have looked at the temple at all.
Okay.
Due to popular demand, some customers messages come on chat and ask, do you have that temple? I would like to offer a puja there. So there are old ancient temples which suddenly become popular due to some news flash or breaking news or some controversy or whatever.
Okay.
So those temples needs to be added overall. Like for example, I had one case in Jharkhand and Bihar, one Chinnamasta Devi temple, basically a very ancient temple. Recently, 3-4 customers wanted to offer pujas to that. We couldn't do that because we need to network it. Similarly, each region will have some unique old temples which are not yet in the limelight.
Okay.
But which can add significantly to our order flow.
Okay. And
so I get your point. What is the point? I get your point that what is the need to add more temples when existing ones are more than enough?
Yeah, that is what I was trying to. Yeah, that is what I was trying to figure out.
Each temple it may be the same deity. An Ashtavinayak or 8 temples cluster in Maharashtra, for example, or an Navagraha temple in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
There are still people rushing to Siddhivinayak in Bombay, for example.
I understand.
So the same deity in different temples.
I get it.
I'd also like to add, Sudhir, on this the same query that, see, I'll give you another example. Today, I'm sure we all have something called a Kula Devta, right? Or a Kul Devi.
Yeah.
Deity.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
So now I would say that we don't have any of these Kul Devi, Kul Devta temples still networked on our platform.
Okay.
Right? So that itself, I mean, I'm just trying to put a number. There would be at least 1,000 or more just different Kul Devis or Kul Devtas which can easily be brought on the platform. And you have to also understand, or rather let me explain it to you, that every family or every family is not the right word. Every clan, Shiva, right? Clan. Every clan has this one Devi or Devta they offer puja to, right? And those pujas, because today what is happening, these Devi Devta temples are not on the platform. It is quite difficult to do something there on a regular basis. I'll give you my own example, right? My Kul Devi is somewhere in Gujarat in a small town called Amreli. Okay. But I can't do much. I just end up going once in a year, maybe once in 2 years. Just for a darshan, and I come back. But if the same temple is available on this network, I would probably offer a puja every month.
Okay.
And to add to that, the Kul Devta or clan is आपका वंश का देव God बोलते हैं. मतलब your larger family tree's God. It is not the God, but all the deity is the place of worship. Like your family deity may be Ganpati or Devi. So going to any Devi doesn't work. And there are, as Rikin mentioned, there are literally thousands of temples. In Kerala, there's a place called Palakkad. In that district, there are 300 clan temples.
Okay.
So one district in one small state can have so much. And like that, it's a huge ocean out there.
I understand. Okay, I'll ask one last question before I leave it, and if there are any follow-up questions, I'll come back. My last question is, do you have different verticals in your revenue base, or it's only pujas that you have basically now?
Yeah. So, Sudhir, currently we are doing pujas, havans. These two are our mainstay verticals right now. Okay. We've done a soft launch on astrology right now, very recently.
Brilliant.
Right?
Okay.
We've started with 2 very, very high-end experienced astrologers. Right. Then, just to give you a little bit perspective, we are also looking at religious tourism extremely actively. We had done a pilot run with Make My Trip a couple of years back, and I'm talking just before COVID. That had got a phenomenal response. So we are looking to revive that partnership with Make My Trip and Go I Vivo, right, for the temple guided tours, VIP temple guided tours. Okay. And just to put some numbers to that, like within 2 months of our pilot run with Make My Trip, we had got, I think, approximately over 1,000 customers.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So then, unfortunately, COVID happened. We had to take a back seat because there was no traveling at all, right? And now we are looking to revive that relationship and probably be able to launch it maybe by the end of Q4 of FY24. That's the target right now.
Okay. And just to understand this better, what was the average ticket size for this Make My Trip deal that you had? I mean, this 1,000.
Yeah. So typically how it works is we had 3 offerings there, right?
Okay.
Like bronze, silver, and gold.
Okay.
Like bronze is just going to be just like a VIP temple guided tour. You do your darshan and you go out.
Okay.
The silver one would have a small ritual included, say for example like a small abhishek or something like that, or an arti or something like that.
Okay.
Right? And the gold offering would have a more elaborate ritual. It could be a havan, it could be say 2 or 3 different kind of abhisheks that happen to the different lords of those temples. Right?
Okay.
Ticket sizes, as you wanted to understand, the basic one was 1,000 rupees, which is bronze.
Okay.
That would also depend or vary from temple to temple, but I'm just giving you a perspective.
Understand.
Right?
Yeah.
The silver offering was approximately 1,500 to 1,800 bucks per person.
Okay.
Right? And the gold would be in the range of 3,500, 4,000, depending
Usually
on
5,000.
5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just the last follow-up on the same thing, right? So these 1,000 customers that you acquired, what is the average ticket size that you got? I mean, were most people coming in bronze, or, there were a good number of people coming to silver and gold also?
No, so majority of them were bronze and silver. Typically, it would be a family of 3 or 4.
Okay.
Right? So for us, if it's a family of 4, we are charging 4,000 bucks. Of course, if there is a child, we don't charge for that.
Correct.
Yeah, but typically the ticket size, even in the bronze, as a family, would be to the tune of 3,000 to 4,000 bucks.
Correct. So is it fair to assume 2,000 bucks on an average?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Now, would it be fair to assume an average ticket size of 2,000 bucks, including most coming bronze and silver?
Yeah,
Slightly more.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It could be a little higher side, but yeah, you can look at 2,000 as conservatively.
Okay, so that's in line with the existing average ticket size of pujas that you're getting right now.
Yes.
Brilliant. So the benefit of this tie-up could be a volume spurt that you can get on back of the traffic that comes on Make My Trip site.
Correct.
Cross-selling also.
I'm sorry. Cross-selling, of course.
Yeah, correct.
Sudhir, we are in touch with a travel website. Basically, they have approximately 75,000 agents and 20 million customers whom we are looking at engaging with.
Okay. And what stage would we be? I mean, if you can disclose that, I mean.
We've just started the discussion with this travel player.
Okay.
Right? Maybe you could say we've just started, so we're initial stages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have our next question from Padmaja Ambekar from Parmeshwari Advisors. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, recently you have announced fundraise through preferential allotment. Can you please throw some light on the deployment of these funds and what will be the roadmap for the growth?
Sure. Good evening, Padmaja. Just to give you a perspective on the deployment of capital, there are a few things that we are looking to do. Primarily, as we just discussed, adding a temple network, 5,000 temples on the network. That is one area of deployment. Second one is developing or upgrading our technology on the website, as well as creating Android and iOS application. The third space is to create content, do marketing, and getting more engagements through different social media channels, right? And then to support all of this, we will also need to increase manpower. So that is the fourth area of deployment. And fifth, we are also actively looking at meaningful small acquisitions in the digital marketing space. The fifth space where we want to deploy funds is, to create omni-channel presence. So we are also looking at putting up kiosks on major airports across India. Yeah, so these are primarily the areas where we are looking to deploy funds.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. We have a next question from the line of Nipa Haria from Nipnil Investment. Please go ahead.
Good evening, all. So I would like to know, I think so you mentioned right now this quarter the pujas were around 4,000. So what was it compared to the last quarter?
Sorry, what was the question? Please come again.
This quarter, and this quarter you mentioned you had pujas around about 4,000, right? Puja offerings?
Puja offerings, yeah.
Yeah. So what was it compared to the last quarter?
No, so you mean the number of pujas booked is what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So last quarter we had approximately 3,400 pujas that were booked.
Okay.
Yeah. And this quarter we've done approximately 4,000.
Okay. And out of this, how much was outside India? From India?
Yeah. So outside India, if I have to look at it from a revenue perspective, it is approximately 25%, which is out of India. 75% is in India.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the geographical breakup of this number of which areas there are maximum, how it is geographical wise?
When you're talking about out of India orders, primarily we get orders from US, UK, Canada, Australia, Singapore, and UAE. These are the primary geographies. Besides that, of course, we do get orders from various countries in Europe, South America, which also includes your Argentina and going up north, even Finland. But majority of the orders from out of India are from these countries. Within India, if you have to look, I would say the skew is more towards south of India. So I would say around 35% would be coming from south of India, right? And I would say balance 65 from across India. But yeah, south of India has a slightly heavier skew.
And urban centers have got give us more business, like big cities or medium-sized cities also.
Okay. So the new additions, what you are going to do in temple, that would be more on the south side or north south? What is the plan?
Shiva, would you like to come in?
Yeah. South we have a sizable network already. We need to add more in the north or rest of India rather.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
We have our next question from the line of Ravindra Jain, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, hi.
Mr. Jain, may I request you to use your handset, please?
Hello. Am I audible now?
Yes, but it is not very clear. Can you use your handset?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I want to understand with regards to the astrology segment. So we have seen over the years there are so many players in this. So how do you see the competition coming?
If I've heard it right, you want to understand our take on the competition, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just to give you a perspective, I feel that there are a lot of players without a doubt, but we are just still scratching the surface, right? As Shiva just mentioned, there are more than like 8-10 lakh temples, right, that are there. More than that, I would also say that with astrology coming in, Vastu, that is also another thing we are, kind of considering, and the religious tourism that we are looking at, right? We become primarily like a one-stop shop. Today, if you look at any of the other competitors, right, a lot of them are very area-centric, or I would say state-centric. I don't want to take any names, but that's where it is, right? And besides that, just looking at astrology, just a single vertical, right, that itself has so much potential to drive business on three fronts. One would be astrology consultations itself. Two, helping us get more orders on our portal. And three, it will also then help us, get more orders on the product front, right? And if you look at the industry per se, right, it's a huge industry. It's standing at 60 to 80 billion today as we speak, right? And it has a CAGR of more than 10% over the next 5 to 7 years. So I believe competition is going to be great, right? There is enough and more to be made by multiple players.
Okay,
I
sure.
hope that answers your question.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Tony Navani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. I would like to know what is this inventory of 5.5 crores of?
Tony, as we just said, right, this is all pre the amalgamation where Sagar Production was in the business of, film editing, post-productions. They've got some rights of some films that they've edited and done some post-production work on. We are trying to see how it can get monetized over the next, I would say 3 to 4 quarters, that element will get monetized.
Okay. And normally this Puja Sync business is more of advance payments and all.
Yes.
Why this trade receivables is showing a 1.4 crores?
Correct. So I think I did answer that question to somebody else before. Again, that is pre-amalgamation. It was work done by Sagar Production on a couple of short ad films, etc. Those are receivables that we have to still receive. So we are trying to figure out how we can, get that done. We are hopeful that those receivables will be in over the next 2 quarters.
Next 2 quarters. Now this financial year it will be completed.
Hopefully, we are hoping that it should get completed.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Sudesh Ganesh Kamath, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, so one of my questions was related to competition, which I think you have already answered.
Yes.
The other thing which I wanted to know is whether you have a Puja product segment wherein, a lot of people have requirements of specific Puja items which may not be locally available.
Right.
So do they, be looking at buying it from authentic sources? So do you have something of that kind?
Yeah. So again, just to give you a perspective, we had done a pilot on the ePuja shop just pre-COVID, when I discussed the same time during the Make My Trip pilot was being run, right? We had a good response then, but then due to issues of, getting the delivery in time, we had to bring it down. We are considering to start a ePuja store probably by first quarter of the next year. So sometime in April of 24, we should be able to do it, where, we'll be selling articles like Rudraksh, gemstones, all different puja samagris, yantras, dhoops, incense sticks, etc. Yeah, so that is definitely on the cards. As of now, we are looking to, launch it by the first quarter of the next financial year.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
The other thing which I wanted to ask you is, how are your plans to, scale up the business? Like you have a good network set up right now.
Right.
And the order flow is also there, but how would you plan to scale up the business?
Right. So we are, Sudeshji, we are actively looking at doing some large corporate tie-ups. I'll give you one example. Again, extremely initial talks, right, with a large broker. I don't want to name it yet, where we are trying to, tell them that we can offer a puja for every new Demat account opened, right, by that large broker. And the idea behind that is, to be able to connect or touch your customer or consumer at a sentimental level rather than, just having him at an operational level. Today, just trying to, just adding more to it, it's like, a broker is praying that my client makes profit. Or for that matter, it could be even a health insurance company, right, where the health insurance company along with the insurance policy, we can look at bundling some puja, or through the agents we can, sell the pujas, where it is saying that the agent is praying for the good health of the customer, right? So such large tie-ups are going to be very, very important in scaling up. Of course, besides that, we are going to increase our presence on all social media handles, channels, deploy some, I would say, influencers, more content creation. But yeah, broadly, these are the few ways that we look that we can, scale it up fast.
Another thing which I wanted to understand is, like, for high ticket pujas,
Yeah.
does the customer have live coverage of the puja being done or anything of that sort?
Yeah. Yeah. So typically for the Havans that we do, right, the customer has an option where he can have a live viewing of the Havan as and when it's done. Right. Besides that, we also record the entire Havan and send our DVD to the client for his keepsake along with the prasad. Shiva, would you like to add something more to this?
Yeah. See, most Havans are big ticket size orders. So people come online and we live stream it to the customer. And most people living abroad, they order, most of our Havan orders come from international customers. So it's a family time, they sit in front, their family relatives in India, the main client sitting in US or UK, we all do a group live streaming for them. Apart from that, some people request a DVD also. So the customer has the option to take DVD or live streaming or both. When it comes to temples, most temples don't allow camera or mobile phones inside the premises. So there, the customer gets the prasadam in the temple's official envelope with the client's name written on it. That authenticates our puja offering in a temple. Havan, we live stream it.
Sir, the other thing which I wanted to know is the larger temples have also launched their own website for accepting pujas. So, is it possible that the customers will directly go to the temple website and book the pujas?
Sir, temples having their own website are still very minuscule in number. If you look at as I told, there are about 10 lakh odd temples in India. There may be around 10 or 20 websites of temples offering puja booking services. They will have these generic websites with a page on history of the temple, mythology of the temple, images will be loaded on the website. Puja booking option on the temple's official website. They are still in very small numbers, sir.
Right. Okay, sir. All the best.
Tirupati will have or Somnath will have, but huge number, no? Like there's hardly scratched the surface.
Another thing which I wanted to know, do you have this larger ticket Havan? So do you have a concept of Samuhik pujas being done where a lot of people contribute, those who want to do that puja contribute for those kind of Havans?
Did you mean something like a subscription Havan or a group Havan?
Yeah. So suppose
we do have group Havan also.
Date is coming and you want to do some Vishnu Yag. So the cost may be like for a single individual, maybe exorbitant, but he wants to be part of it. So
we have that option also, but that runs only on specific days. Like for example, Vishnu Havan, as you told, will be popular on a Vaikuntha Ekadashi or Lord Shiva Havan on a Mahashivratri. Okay, on those days we run, but most customers prefer individual, exclusive, customized homes because home also is done for remedy only.
Right.
If a person is suffering from a severe health problem, they'll do a Mahamrutyunjay Havan when the person is suffering, when he's going inside the operation theatre or a surgery room. So Samuhik happens on festival days, I agree, but usually our customers prefer customized, exclusive rituals.
Right.
क्या होता है हवन का फल when the fruits of that havan get distributed to everybody. If you do it exclusively, the devotees the client receives it fully for his benefit. That's the belief in doing havan.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, I would like to remind participants to press star and 1 to ask a question. We'll take the next question from the line of Shubhangi, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Firstly, I appreciate what you're doing for people who actually can't travel and the satisfaction they get by, offering prayers to these temples. But when I see the business viability, you mentioned that you intend increasing the network. So when you all do that, what is the kind of monetary arrangement that you all have with the temples? Is there a minimum number of puja that you all need to commit to them, or how does that work?
Shiva, would you like to take that?
Yeah. You mean to say that how do we assure temples minimum number of orders, right?
Yes. I mean, how do you end up getting them into your network?
See, temples are not run like profit and loss centers. Temples are basically institutions of social importance. So a temple will run whether it gets 1 devotee or 100 devotees, whether puja orders come to it or not. Usually what we do is the temple priest is our agent there. We link up with the temple priest. Temple priests are usually hereditary people whose family members worship in the temple since generations. So a temple priest will go to that particular temple every day, whether a devotee comes or doesn't come. Hello? Are you okay?
Yes,
So when we get an order from any customer, we send a payment to the temple, the official fees for that particular ritual. We also send a payment to the priest. That's a sort of dakshina to him. And we also pay for the puja articles, coconut, garland, whatever is the puja article set for that particular temple. So we arrange the whole thing and we share the customer's nakshatra, go through details with the priest and with the temple. And if the customer is opted for any specific date, we provide that date and the time also for the priest. So temples run. It's not run like a profit and loss thing, Like, a temple will have a trust. It will have funds for daily rituals. So it's not a profit and loss sort of an entity.
So, sir, I was just following up on that question which you answered to one of the participants that, the flow of money that you are going to see will be used, to increase the network. So I was trying to understand if there is any possibility to that.
Yeah, so Shubhangi, just to add to what Shiva said, there is no real prerequisite, when we bring a temple on board on the platform, there's no prerequisite that, this is the minimum commitment that we'll give you, etc., etc.
I see. Okay. And so right now, we are focused pretty much on Hinduism and, the temple segment. Are we also intending to expand it to, the other religions and the places of worship which also, could be worshipped by, people?
So I'll give you a very honest answer, Shubhangi, right now. We've just scratched the surface, right, with the Hindu temples where even at 3,600 it's too small a network. As Shiva pointed out, there are more than 10 lakh temples. Right, we need to first make sure that we have fully, I would say, utilized the entire network in terms of number of temples, number of customers, and when we see growth stagnating is when probably we will consider, some other religions for that matter, and look at it from a different perspective that today India, right, we have a population of close to 140 crore people, 80% are Hindus. Right? And when we are looking at 80% Hindus, which is close to 100 crore people being Hindus, right? So today, even if we manage to bring 2 crore customers, right, that is just 2%. Right? And I mean, utilizing any one service of e-puja itself, right, that in itself will be a huge achievement.
Sure. And lastly, I was just also trying to understand, people who've been doing the pujas or booking pujas online, what would be the age segment that normally ends up doing it? So is it relatively in the older, category who are well-versed with, say, digital, or is it the younger ones? How does that,
So typically, Shubhangi, how it works is that there'll be one family member, generally between the age group of 35 to 50, right? that one person will be booking the pujas. Of course, the pujas are done for multiple family members, right? So there will be one puja done for a child also who is say 18 years or 15 years old, and then there will be another puja the same person is booking for his father or mother, who's maybe 75 or 80. If you ask me exactly, that at what age group people are placing the orders, our calculated guess is between the age of 35 and 50.
I understand. And like you mentioned, one of the segments that you all are looking at was one of the brokers and, people who are...
Yeah.
Similarly, are there other, avenues that you all have thought of that, you all can actually grow in, or similar corporate tie-ups that you're looking at?
Yeah. So just to add more to that, you can look at, fertility clinics, right? We have a couple of temples on our network which are known, to help for conceiving for couples. So that will take us to fertility clinics. Then we have temples which are specific for, getting jobs. So that will look at your job portals like your Naukri.com or a Monster.com or, such portals. Then we have temples which are known for, removing obstacles in marriages, right? That allows us to, reach out to a Shadi.com or a Bharat Matrimony, right? Then we have for... So that way we have for multiple issues, we have multiple temples, right? So any such large tie-ups, right, can make the volumes go through the roof.
I agree, sir.
Yeah. Even for that matter, I would say large, these housing companies or other real estate developers, could be our potential for our corporate tie-ups.
So that's
buying a property.
Sure. So this brings me to one more question. So, there are these lot of pundits that are required by people to do the house puja and, other different pujas. And sometimes it becomes tough for people to find the right person or someone who's trustworthy. Do you all intend setting up a network of, these pundits who can also go depending on the area and stuff? Has that been one of the thoughts?
So definitely, what, I'm actually happy that a lot of things that are on the cards, you guys are already kind of anticipating it. So yeah, we are looking at Pandit at Home service as well. Again, this is on the drawing board yet. Looking to probably launch it in maybe Q2 of the next financial year. Because the important part, in a Pandit at Home service, we need to make sure that we need to do a very, very thorough background check of the Pandit, right? You don't want any mishaps happening at a customer's house. And two, we need to make sure that, the Pandits are extremely good in terms of well experienced and, they are able to say the shlokas, etc. in the right fashion. And if the yajman or the person who's getting the puja done, if he has questions regarding the shlokas, he should also be able to explain everything, right? You don't want the nook and corner pundits who don't really have the experience, right? And of course, for this, we are also looking to leverage our existing network of the pundits which are there in the 3,600 temples as well, because that will add more authenticity as well.
Right. This is very helpful. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a next question from the line of Priyadarshi Srivastava, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, I just wanted to know what is your marketing and advertising expense as a percentage of revenue currently, and as you wish to go in the other streams and tie-ups and also how it will go up, and what is your view on that?
Good evening, sir. So, to give you some clarity on that, currently we are spending approximately 1 lakh rupees a month. That will translate to 12 lakhs annually on marketing. Within that also, we are spending 50,000 on Google AdWords, right? And so far we've been able to establish a 1:3 ratio with Google AdWords, where 1 rupee spent gives us typically business of 3 rupees. The balance 50,000 we spend is towards creating different making different creatives, posting them on different social media handles, etc. Right? And we completely need to revamp the social media presence. That's what the current marketing expenses are.
Okay. And how you see as you are getting into other streams like temple tourism and other tie-ups, so this will go up or?
Definitely, sir. I think we are looking to ramp up the marketing spend at least, I would say, 3 to 4 times, in a phased manner, where every time we, increase the marketing spend, we would like to, do a A/B testing, figure out what's working, what's not working, and then keep allocating more to what is working. But yeah, we're definitely looking at, pushing up this to at least 4 to 5 times from what we are today.
Okay. So as a percentage of revenue, how would what will be your ideal?
The percentage of revenue currently, if I take it on an annual basis, it would be approximately 10-12%. We are looking to push that at least to 30-35% of the revenue.
Okay, sir. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Lakshmi Shah from Ekadanta Investment. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. My question is, as you have mentioned in Q2 FY24, the company have posted revenue of 29 lakh. What was the breakup of this revenue?
97% of the revenue was coming from e-Puja and the Havan business, and 3% from the astrology bit, because we've just done a soft launch yet. We are kind of learning the ropes on the astrology end. But yeah, going forward, we do see astrology segment picking up substantially.
Okay. And how do you see growth coming from this segment?
From the astrology segment or from the e-Puja?
From astrology segment.
Yeah. So we believe that, today it's an extremely small base, right? So we think that over the next 2 to 3 quarters, we should be able to, get at least 30-35% of our total revenue from the astrology segment.
Okay.
And the other thing, we believe that going forward, astrology also will play a key role in driving business even for the e-Puja segment, right? Because typically what happens in a consultation is that the astrologer will suggest that you need to do certain pujas and maybe use a certain gemstone or a rudraksh, right? So the endeavor is to make sure that whatever these recommendations are also are done or fulfilled through the platform. So it's an amazing upselling or a cross-selling opportunity as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have a next question from the line of Sudhir Pariyar from Consultant Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Just so one of my questions was kind of asked in a different way by other participants. Just wanted to check on what is our customer acquisition cost as on date.
So, Sudhir, customer acquisition cost, I'll not be able to give you a pinpoint number because we have a fairly high repeat order ratio, right? But currently we are looking, what we land up spending per customer, per new customer would be in the range of 600 to 700 rupees.
600 to 700 rupees, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's significantly lower than the metrics which is usually shared by other startups.
Yeah. So that it comes to $600-700 because of the high repeat ratio, right? Today I have acquired you as a customer, right? But over a period of 2 months, you've managed to give me orders worth say 20 or 30,000 rupees. So I will probably reduce my acquisition cost by that much.
Correct. I get it. And since you mentioned about repeat customer, what is the repeat ratio in your metrics?
So typically, we have a repeat ratio of 50%.
Okay.
Yeah. So 50% of our clients keep coming back on a yearly, some come back quarterly, right? To keep placing orders for newer pujas or different pujas, depending on the festival, depending on their need, even havans for that matter.
Okay.
Does that answer your query?
Yes, that does. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Sudhir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. On behalf of Capital Square Financial Services Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.